Okay, this is my What's New video assignment. The assignment is over explaining the rate and growth equations. So the first equation is the equation for rate. It is expressed as d capital Y divided by lowercase d lowercase t. The d capital Y is basically saying the amount of change. And then the dt is saying the change over time, the change in time. So overall, the equation put into words is the equation for rate is equal to the amount of change over the change of time. This is the most basic and simple of all of the equations. So the next equation is the population growth equation. The population growth equation is expressed as d capital N divided by dt is equal to capital B minus d. The d capital N divided by dt is equal to the growth of the population. The b is equal to the births, and then the d is equal to the deaths. So expressed into words, the growth of the population is equal to the birth minus the death. So for example, if we have 10 rabbits in a population and there are 5 births and 3 deaths, then the growth of the population will be two. Would be two. This equation also doesn't factor in the immigration and emigration. So, for example, there could have been 5 rabbits that immigrated, and then 2 rabbits that 5 rabbits that immigrated and 2 rabbits that emigrated. So if the birth minus deaths is 2, then the immigration minus emigration would be 3, and the overall growth of the population would be 5. And then, so the equation for exponential growth is expressed as d capital N divided by dt is equal to r max capital N. So the d capital N divided by dt, as I said on the last slide, is equal to the growth of the population. The R max is the maximum growth in the population per capita, and the N is the population size. So the growth rate of the population is equal to the maximum growth rate in a population multiplied by the population size. Now, finally, the equation for logistic growth is d capital N divided by lowercase d lowercase t. And that's equal to R max capital N times multiplied by, in parentheses, k minus n divided by k. If you notice that the first part of that equation is the exact same as the equation for the exponential growth. So it's the same equation, it's just factoring in the carrying capacity that makes the logistic growth equation and graph different from the exponential growth equation and graph. So as I have said on the past 2 slides, the d capital N divided by the lowercase d and the lowercase t is equal to the growth of the population. The R max is the maximum growth in a population. The N is the population size, and the K is the carrying capacity. So the growth rate of the population is equal to the maximum growth rate in a population multiplied by the population size. All of that is then multiplied by the carrying capacity minus the number of individuals first, and then you divide all of that by the carrying capacity and multiply all of that together, and that will give you the equation for the logistic growth. Thank you for watching my presentation.